Ghost Stories from BBC was deleted since the 2000s. Green and Pleasant.
Welcome once again to another feast of fear. That curiously attractive sensation that lies, impatient to be aroused, beneath the surface of your consciousness. And mine. This week, I have a question for you. When did you last drink some water from your kitchen tap? Perhaps you made yourself some tea or coffee. Or perhaps, like me, you prefer your water unadulterated. Whenever it was, think about this. How did it taste? Was it the same as usual? Exactly the same? Of course it was. Today's story is about someone who comes to learn something denied to most of you. The true value of fear. I do hope that you too will find that experience green and pleasant.
The most polluted children's playground, and we find out why lacrosse is the world's greenest indoor sport.
But first, our roundup of news and...
Get me out of here! What the hell is going on? Answer me! Do you realize who I am?
So, lots to look forward to there. Don't forget our live phone-in later on in the show. There's the number again. That's 071...
If you're outside London.
813... 7881.
7881.
And we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
You wait, whoever the hell you are. You wait till I get out of here. Is there anybody there?
But first, a look at the biggest story of the week, the sudden disappearance from public life of rock star Sarah Lovecraft, the self-styled Green Queen.
Unless you've been locked in a cellar for the past 6 days, you'll know that the millionaire singer, dubbed Saint Sarah for her work for environmental causes, failed to show up for a major concert date this week.
Sarah's manager has issued a statement saying that the 19-year-old, idol of millions of green teens, is suffering from a nervous collapse.
But speculation is growing that Sarah is simply lying low, afraid to face the public, following her appearance on this program last week.
Okay, let's have another look at part of that exclusive interview.
Sarah Lovecraft, welcome to Green and Pleasant.
Thank you, Steve. It's a real pleasure to be here and meet you. And Lisa, of course.
Tell me, Sarah, do you find much time for TV watching? I should imagine not.
Well, as you know, we've only just come off the road.
Oh, this is the Friends of the Earth benefit tour.
Right, yeah. And, really, it's just totally draining. But I hate to miss this show. I really love this show.
Well, thank you.
I've got tapes of all the ones I've missed, so I'll catch up with you one day.
Well, today we've caught up with you.
That's right.
Tell them from me you can have whatever the hell you want. Just get me out of this damn thing!
You're a very private sort of person, aren't you?
Well, you have to keep a sort of corner of your life that's just for you, you know. Well, I mean, I'm lucky. I've got all these fans. I suppose it's only natural that they want to know everything about me.
But you do need that one little corner just for yourself.
Yes, that's it.
And is it in that corner that you keep things like Zecon Cosmetics?
Hey! Who's there? Let me out of this thing! Who are you? How did I get here? Let me out! Listen, you bloody pervert, if I get my hands on you, where am I? No, don't go! Please don't go!
I think we've got a picture. Yes, there it is. Now, we found those dead rabbits dumped in the stream at the back of the cosmetics plant.
You can't see it clearly, but their faces were disfigured and burnt, where various substances had been applied to them.
And we also have evidence that untreated chemical waste is routinely deposited in the same stream.
Why are you showing me this?
Because we've also discovered who owns Zecon Cosmetics, Sarah. You do.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please, can I have something to drink?
Of course. No. Put your arm back inside. Good. Now there's the glass. Take it nice and slowly.
What the hell is this stuff?
It's fresh spring water. I collected it myself.
Disgusting.
I collected it just for you. From the spring that runs past the cosmetics factory. I forget its name.
So that's it. For God's sake, give me some proper water.
That was proper water! Once.
Look, I don't know how you got hold of this information, Lisa, but I'm telling you, it's a pack of lies.
I take it you're denying all knowledge of it?
Of course.
And what about your land in Scotland?
What?
Can we see that clip? Yes, there we are. You're looking at a stretch of countryside in Scotland, officially designated an area of outstanding natural beauty. Isn't that right, Sarah?
Look, I've had enough of this. I didn't
An area exceptionally rich in wildlife and the breeding ground of some of the rarest of our small mammals and birds. And it's all yours, Sarah, isn't it?
Is there some point to all this?
The point is that we've discovered that you're planning to sell the entire site to a multinational concern for industrial development.
Right, that's it.
Sarah, don't you think we ought to talk about this?
Out of the bleeding way!
This is tap water. I wouldn't call it pure exactly, but you might like it. Here.
More, please.
My word, you are thirsty. Give me a glass. Thank you. Here. Give me the glass back, please.
Take it, you bastard!
To a healthier world. And now it's time for our live phone-in.
And our first caller's on the line, Mr. Smith. Good evening, Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Lisa. Stephen,
Hello, what's your question, Mr. Smith?
I just want to say something about Sarah Lovecraft.
Oh, well, that's not really the topic for tonight.
She's not lying low.
What do you mean?
She's not lying low. I know where she really is.
Mr. Smith, what are you saying?
She's staying with me, learning a few lessons. I have to go now.
Hello? Hello? Are you still there?
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I think we should have another caller. Yes, we have. Yeah, it's Mr. Barker. Hello, Mr. Barker.
You hurt my hand. You shouldn't have done that.
You're mad. Let me out of this contraption.
Later, maybe.
How did I get here? How long have I been in here?
Those things aren't important.
Do you want money? How much? Well, then what do you want? Do you want me? Come on, then. Undo this cage and we'll see what happens.
Shut up! Stop that filth!
Oh, bastard!
I told you what I want. I want to talk to you.
All what they said, it's lies. You've got to believe me. What day is it?
Tuesday. Green and Pleasant is on.
How long was I unconscious?
You've been asleep for quite a long time.
Oh, God, in this thing.
Don't you like it?
This is insane. What are you going to do to me?
I built it myself.
You must be mad.
Oh, no. I didn't think it up. I only copied it from a picture in a newspaper, but that one was much smaller. But then, rabbits are not very big, are they? You can get dozens of them in one room. But you know all about that. It's a clever design, isn't it? Just your head outside the bar, so convenient. There was an interview with the man who designed it in the paper. They were rude to him, but he seemed very proud of it.
Please, let me out.
No, I don't think so.
Please. I've got to go to the loo.
Go on, then.
What?
The cage is designed to allow full natural functions. It's perfectly hygienic. It said so in the paper. Well, go on. I'd hate you to be uncomfortable.
You sick bastard!
Perhaps you're embarrassed because I'm here. Well, you're in luck. I have to go and make another phone call. Excuse me. I want to talk about Sarah Lovecraft.
Look, Mr. Smith, we've already told you...
She's been missing since last Wednesday. That's when I kidnapped her.
What did you say?
At the back of the Clarion Hotel, just after 11:30. She was wearing a grey skirt and an orange t-shirt. Would you like me to tell you what was in her handbag?
Who are you?
She's going to find out just what it's like.
What is like?
Hello? Hello?
Hello. Feeling better? I'm going to teach you some things you ought to know. It's so important to broaden our horizons, don't you think? I've brought you something. Look,
What's that?
think of it as perfume. You probably can't smell it from over there. Here. I want you to test it for me. Oh, does it sting a little? Well, it's in a very good cause. Perhaps it won't be so bad this time.
Stop it!
Oh, well, it probably takes a few times before you get used to it.
Oh, I can't see!
Oh, dear. Still, that's a valuable test result, and I'm sure it's only temporary. Now, let me have a look at you. Does it hurt? Oh, yes, I can see the blisters starting.
Oh, no, please.
I think you've learned what it's like to be a test animal. It's time for you to identify with something a little larger.
I don't understand.
You will. Can you see yet?
No, I can't.
Then this will be a nice surprise.
Oh, what's happening?
You'll see. Oh, sorry. You ready?
Oh.
How does that feel?
What is it? It's hot.
It would be. Ultraviolet.
Oh.
Have some more.
Stop it! It's horrible!
Yes, I thought it might be. I'll be back soon.
Oh, please.
Hello again.
Listen, don't hang up. We want to talk to you.
Oh, Lisa, thank you.
What?
You want me to keep talking so you can trace the call. That means the police are involved. I'm flattered. You must have checked up about Sarah's clothes and the time she disappeared. That was quick work. You really believe me.
No, he didn't say that.
But of course I can't talk for too long. Sarah's having such a good time. It's a real learning experience for her. She's in the middle of a lesson right now.
Listen, we're going to keep this line free for you.
You really do believe me. That's nice. Goodbye.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith, if you can still hear me, I meant what I said. We're asking people not to try and phone us. We want to keep the line free.
But do keep watching. Whatever happens, you'll see it live as it happens, here on Green and Pleasant.
Hello.
Please. Switch them off.
How's your face? Oh, dear.
I can't stand it, please. The heat.
All right. There. Temporary cloud cover. Would you like another drink? Brought you a paper cup. Don't want any more accidents, do we? Here. Say please.
What?
Politeness is so important, don't you think? I'm waiting.
Please.
Good. Don't worry, it's tap water. Of course, I wouldn't drink it. The things that are in there. Here.
Thank you.
Good.
Oh. Why the heat lamps?
Oh, Sarah, I thought you understood.
I don't understand any of this.
It's the only way you'll ever really learn what people like you are doing to our world.
What?
All those things that are being done to the planet. I'm going to do them to you. Every single one.
Our last contact with a man who calls himself simply Mr. Smith was 25 minutes ago. Programs have been rescheduled so that we can stay on the air and bring you this astonishing story as it happened. I'm just told that, in fact, Mr. Smith is back on the line. Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith, are you there?
Hello, Steve.
Thank you for calling back. The question...
Steve.
Yes, thank you. The question everyone wants answered is, how is Sarah?
She's here with me. In my room now. I'll see if she can talk to you.
Yes, please do that, Mr. Smith.
Hello? Are you still there?
Mr. Smith, can you hear me? Sarah?
Sarah? Sarah, can you hear me? Can you talk to us?
I'm sorry. I don't think Sarah is feeling very communicative just at the moment. She's been learning rather fast. Perhaps she'll be in a better state a little later. I'll let her have a nice rest before her next lot of lessons. Oh, and we're so enjoying the program.
Mr. Smith, don't hang up. Please, don't hang up.
I'll talk to them again later. They're not ready for the real truth yet, Sarah. There are all sorts of things you still have to learn.
What else can you do to me?
Think of the animals that live on that estate of yours. You're going to wipe them all out. You're going to destroy their breeding grounds. They won't ever be able to have any babies. You ought to learn about that.
Oh my God.
I think we should start that lesson now. Now, I'll just make sure that this is sharp enough. Don't want to do a messy job. I do hate mess, don't you? Let's see.
No, don't.
But I have to test the blade. And I hardly use this hand at all. Ah! Yes. It's beautiful. Blood is full of living things. Did you know that? All existing together in a perfect balance. We could learn a lot from blood. Are you ready to learn about babies?
No, wait. There's something else I want to learn first.
What?
You said that they're not ready for the real truth.
Well, they're not. Are you ready?
Oh, yes. You've taught me so well. Please.
All right. All right. When I was little, I had a book. It was a big book with lots of coloured pictures. Magnificent Dinosaurs, it's called. I've still got it. It taught me something I've never forgotten. The world was so lovely then. Before we were here. Before we started spoiling everything. The real truth. It's so simple. You just have to look all around you. Everybody's guilty. Everybody. It's not just the people who build the factories or run the motor cars or cut down the rainforests or torture the animals. It's every single person. Don't you see? We're not a part of nature anymore. We can't be. We've changed. And just by being alive, we are killing everything else. Just by being alive.
Go on.
The world was lovely before we were here. So, to make it lovely again, it's simple.
No.
Water. That was the key. Everybody uses water, don't they? They wash in it, they cook with it, they drink it. And it's so easy for it to be contaminated. You remember the spring behind your factory? And that was just chemical waste. I used something much stronger than that.
Oh my God.
Yes. And it was terribly easy to get the poison. I was shocked. But it was just what I needed. It's very slow acting and quite undetectable.
It's not possible.
You'll see. Everyone will see. It starts with a sore throat, then a headache, then your skin begins to feel hot and dry. Then there's the thirst. No matter how much you drink, you still feel thirsty. Then the dizziness. After that, it's very quick.
No.
Of course, it works faster on some people than others. I thought the children would be the first. I've seen some of the things that children do. Litter and filth and dirt. They should have been the first, but Instead, it's going to be you.
You're insane.
Oh, Sarah, you're so wrong. I'm the only one who isn't. Not long now, Sarah. I'm glad I told you. I knew you would understand. Not like them. Not like them.
New information. I repeat, Mr. Smith, if you can hear me, you have to know this. We were wrong about Sarah Lovecraft.
What?
The accusations made on this program last week were totally false. Sarah Lovecraft has no connection with Zecon Cosmetics. She has no plans to sell her Scottish land holdings.
I don't believe
Our
it.
information was wrong in every particular. You're punishing an innocent girl.
Liar!
If you don't believe us, please ring in again. We have proof. Mr. Smith, if you can hear us, please ring in again. Sarah Lovecraft is innocent.
No.
We repeat, Sarah Lovecraft is not guilty of any of the charges made on this program. New evidence has...
Hello, Lisa? Stephen? Hello?
Mr. Smith, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you hear what we said? Mr. Smith, you must stop hurting Sarah. We were wrong about her.
Show me the proof.
We had a call from the lawyer we spoke to. He said...
Show me. I won't believe you unless you show me. They're lying, aren't they, Sarah?
He's being driven to the studio. He can tell you himself.
Now! Show me now!
Just give us a few minutes.
Liars! You're just liars!
No, you'll see. But Mr. Smith...
How is Sarah? Is she all right?
Can she speak to us?
I'll ask her. Sarah, can you talk to them? Oh, Sarah. No, I don't think she can.
What have you done to her?
All right, Lisa, let me take this. Mr. Smith, this isn't the way.
Then what is? Your way? Television programs?
But programs like ours can help show people they're wrong.
But they don't listen. The problem's just too big. Why can't you see that? I worked it out ages ago. I understand it. Why doesn't anyone else?
Go on, Mr. Smith. You're speaking to millions of people. Explain it to us.
I have a lot of friends, you know. A lot of people think the way I do. But even they don't understand.
What don't they understand?
All right. I'll tell you. You'll know soon enough anyway.
What do you mean?
When I first realized what the real truth was, I was so frightened, so scared. I didn't know what to do. It was so big, and I was the only one who could see. But I made a discovery. Fear is creative, inspirational. Isn't that amazing? I never realized it before. It was my fear that showed me what I had to do.
Tell us.
And it was Sarah who showed me the way. And I never even thanked you, did I, Sarah? Isn't that terrible?
Mr. Smith, what are you talking about? What was it you had to do?
It was so simple. I didn't believe it at first. It was so simple, but then all the best ideas aren't they? When I was little, I had a book. It was a big book with... What's that? Go away! Leave us alone!
Listen to me, Mr. Smith. It's the police. Why don't you let them in?
What's the matter, Lisa?
Let them in, Mr. Smith. Let them help you.
It's too late to help anyone now.
What?
No!
Staff said the police are breaking in.
Keep away from us!
Take it easy.
You're right. Doesn't matter anymore. Poor Sarah. I'm sorry she was the first. She learned her lesson so well. Doesn't she look peaceful?
Foxtrot Castle from Matheson, receiving. I've got him. White male, IC1. Not dangerous.
Doesn't she look peaceful?
Sir,
Well,
no sign of the girl.
What do you mean? She's here.
What?
Look. Look!
Oh my God.
Hello, can anyone speak to us?
Shall I tell them what's happening?
no. You go with this officer.
Come on, sir.
What about Sarah?
This way.
Sarah!
I'll take care of her, sir. Don't you worry. Take him away.
Sir, come on. That's the way.
And how are you feeling, officer?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello?
Thank God. Who is that?
Detective Inspector Matheson.
Inspector, what's happening there? Have you got him?
Oh, yes. We've got him.
And Sarah Lovecraft, is she all right? Inspector?
She was in the room with him. We could hear him talking to her.
Oh, yes. I'm sure he was talking to her. But she wasn't here.
What? What?
There's no sign that she was ever here. He was talking to thin air.
Fear. Fear is creative, inspirational. Isn't that amazing? I never realized it before. It was my fear that showed me what I had to do.
The voice of the man we still know only as Mr. Smith, the man who convinced the nation, and apparently himself, that he had kidnapped rock star Sarah Lovecraft.
The police have announced that he is now in psychiatric custody.
Just in case you haven't heard the news, Sarah Lovecraft is alive and perfectly well. She contacted the police a few minutes ago from a location that she refused to disclose.
All she would say was that she had spent the last 6 days at a secret retreat somewhere on the continent and had been totally out of touch with the world. The pressure just got too much for me, she said. I had to get away from everything.
Well, they say it's tough at the top. Sarah, who was finally tracked down by her personal manager, claimed that she knew nothing about the outcry over her disappearance and was stunned to learn about the amazing drama of the last couple of hours. We'll be following up her side of the story in next week's edition.
I suppose Mr. Smith was able to convince us because he was so absolutely convinced himself. Incredible. Who knows what goes on inside a mind like that? Poisoning the whole country's water supply. Amazing.
We understand that certain objects have been removed from the cellar of the house in Haringey, North London, including several industrial ultraviolet lamps and a construction believed to be some sort of cage.
So it wasn't all fantasy.
We'll take a break there.
See you soon on Green and Pleasant.
Headaches, hot and itchy skin, dry throat, dizziness. Ridiculous. Quite ridiculous. In that cautionary little tale, Karen Archer played Lisa, Nigel Carrington Stephen, Rebecca Jones Sarah, Jonathan Taffler the man, Brian Miller the inspector, and Jenny Howe the police constable. The play was written by Bert Coules and directed by Jerry Jones. My name is Edward de Souza, the man in black.
The Face.
This week we come to the 8th of our stories, and in the world of numerology, little attention is given to this number. For some reason, of all the numbers, 8 is the one to which little regard is paid. And in our 8th story, a husband pays little regard to his wife's nightmares. We all of us suffer the agony of nightmares from time to time, but we wake and the horror vanishes in the reality of day. There are some dreams, though, which are not like that. Dreams which return again and again. Dreams which have been there since childhood. Dreams which demand that attention be paid. In my story, however, the husband says to his wife, "You mustn't let it worry you. Dreams may be frightening sometimes, but they don't really mean anything." The husband is wrong, and you are about to discover why in story number 8, The Face.
Penny for them.
What did you say?
I said
A penny for your thoughts. You've been staring out of that window for at least 10 minutes. I might just as well be back in Hammersmith.
I'm sorry.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You're very pale. Is it the heat?
It simply has no effect on me. Richard hates it.
He says he can never understand how he came to fall in love with a salamander.
There's nothing wrong between you.
How do you mean?
Wrong between you and Richard.
Celia, just because I happen to stare out of the window for a few minutes doesn't mean my marriage is on the rocks. I have every reason in the world to be happy.
But you're not.
Who says I'm not?
Oh, come off it. We've known each other for far too long for you to try and hide something from me. What is it?
It's nothing. Leave it alone.
Nothing that you want to talk about.
Nothing worth talking about.
Tell me.
It's a dream, and people who talk about... Oh, it's not worth talking about.
You never know. Dream or nightmare?
Both. Do you really want to hear it?
Of course I do.
Well, it's a dream I often used to have as a child. I haven't had it for years, but last night it came back again. There's nothing particular about the dream itself, but the way it used to be was that the night after I'd had that dream, there would be another one. A real nightmare. And I used to scream out loud in my sleep. It's 10 years since I last had that dream, and now the first dream, the warning dream, has come again. I'm dreading what's going to happen tonight.
What happens? Can you remember?
Every detail. But I'll tell you about the first dream so you'll understand. It's quite harmless, really. I'm walking on a sandy cliff covered with short down grass. I'm about 20 yards from the edge, and I can hear the sea below. There's a path which I follow which goes steadily upwards, and there are always stiles which I have to climb over. There are sheep grazing, but I never see another human being. It's early evening, and I have to hurry because there's someone who is waiting for me, someone who's been waiting not just for a little while, but for many years. And there, in front of me, is a little wood where the trees have grown crooked from the wind off the sea, and I know that my journey is nearly over, that this person, whose name I do not know, is waiting for me somewhere close at hand. I have to walk through these trees. The boughs almost roof in the path from the sky. It's like walking through a tunnel. And then the trees start to thin out, and I can see the grey tower of a church, which stands all by itself. Around it is a graveyard, which has not been used for a long time. The main body of the church, between the tower and the edge of the cliff, is in ruins, roofless, with gaping windows and ivy growing round them.
Then what happens?
That's all. That's all there is.
You mean it always stops there?
Always. I used to dream it over and over again when I was a child.
And always exactly the same?
Yes, except that last night something was different. It was as if, in the years since I last had the dream, the church and the graveyard had changed. The edge of the cliff had come nearer to the tower. It was within 2 or 3 yards of it, and the whole body of the church had gone over into the sea. There was just one broken arch still standing.
There's nothing particularly frightening in that. I've had much worse dreams.
I told you there's nothing frightening in the first dream. It's in the one that follows that the horror begins.
What happens?
It isn't so easy to describe. Partly because my mind keeps trying to shut it out, I suppose. I try to tell myself if I don't think about it, it won't come. But it always does. At least, it always used to.
But you aren't a child anymore. Perhaps it won't be the same.
It's not like any ordinary nightmare. I'm walking at the foot of the...
Darling, I'm home.
Oh, Lord. There's Richard. I don't want to talk about it in front of him. He'd think I was going soft in the head. I'll give you a ring tomorrow.
Oh, this heat's a scandal. An abomination. Celia, hello. Lovely to see you.
It's all right, Richard. Don't bother to be polite. I'm just going.
Hello, darling.
Hello. I'm on my way out. Bye, Hester.
Bye.
I'll ring you if I don't hear from you. Bye, Richard.
Bye, Celia.
What sin have we committed that Providence should frizzle us up in a frying pan? Let's thwart Providence, Hester. I'll whisper so that he won't hear. Let's drive out and have a quiet, cool dinner somewhere along the river.
The very thing. I'm sure Providence didn't hear us. I'll go and change.
Oh, any letters for me?
2 or 3. They don't look very interesting.
Receipted bill. Circular begging letter. Dear Sir or Madam. Cheek. Asking me to subscribe to something without bothering to ascertain my sex. Private view. 17th century portraits at the Walton Gallery. Hester, do you want to go to a private view at the Walton? I've got meetings all day. Somebody said that there were some Van Dykes that had never seen the light of day.
When is it?
Friday.
I might go with Celia. She rather cares for that kind of thing.
Oh, I'll leave the card on the tray.
Marvellously, darling, I must say. Sometimes you have the most wonderful ideas. Good food, good wine, and a fresh breeze off the river. It even feels cooler in here.
Well, we'll keep the windows open.
Oh, I'm going straight to bed. I'm too sleepy even to take my makeup off.
I'll be with you soon. But there's a few things I've got to check in these accounts first. Before tomorrow.
Must you?
I won't be long.
I'm alone on the shore by a steep cliff. And above me, I can see the tower of the church. The sea must have beaten and beaten away at the cliff until it brought the nave crashing down. Broken pieces of stone everywhere. Are they all that's left of the church? And here's a piece of gravestone. Who departed this? And there's the grave still there, up on the edge of the cliff. It's coming! It's going to show itself! Run! Run! I can't move. I can't move. Try not to look. Try not to look at what's in the cliff face. I can't move my eyes. Look away. Look at the sea. I can't. It is there. The face! The face staring at me out of the cliff! Don't look. The eyes are looking into mine. The lips are moving.
I am coming for you now, Esther. I am coming for you. My bride.
Ah!
Esther! Esther, my darling, what is it? What's the matter? Wake up!
Keep him away! Keep him away!
What's going on? There's no one here. It was just a dream.
It was a dream, just as it always was. Oh, I'm so frightened. He said he would come.
Who said he would come? Dreams will frighten you sometimes, but they don't really mean anything. I can't harm you.
The eyes were grey, set very close together, and they looked steadily at me all the while. He had red hair, growing low on the forehead. His nose was long, and the mouth. On one side, it was almost beautiful and very sensual. On the other, it was deformed or burnt, and the face stared at me as if it lusted after me.
And that was the dream you used to have when you were a child?
Yes, the same dream.
You mean you knew he was lusting after you even then?
I probably wouldn't have put it like that, but now I remember. I remember the lips. They said when I was a child, I shall come for you when you are older. And last night they said, I am coming for you now. And 10 years ago, the ruined nave of the church still stood on the edge of the cliff, but now it's fallen away into the sea and only the tower is left standing there. Oh. And I was so determined I wouldn't let it get hold of me. When I woke up this morning, I told myself I was afraid of nothing other than my own fear. That evil face had come to me in dreams over and over again when I was a child, and it did me no harm except to make me afraid. But now I know it is drawing nearer to me.
But how can it? How can a person in a dream do you any harm?
Come on, let's go to the gallery.
Sir Charles Cotterell, by William Dobson.
He's very red in the face. Who's the girl who's falling out of her dress?
That, my dear, is the Duchess of Portsmouth.
No question about the secret of her success. She must have been lovely, though. And who are the couple over in the corner?
Sir Arthur and Lady Ferguson.
They look as if they've just had one hell of a row and the painter caught them before they'd had time to put their faces straight. They couldn't possibly have wanted to be painted looking like that. Richard said there was supposed to be some Van Dycks. Where are they?
Oh, room 3. Just through here. Lord Crofts. What a superbly aristocratic nose. Oh! What is it? What's the matter? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
Whose portrait is that?
The man with the red hair? Sir Roger Wyburn. You're trembling from head to foot. What on earth is it?
That is him. That is the face in my dream. Does it say anything about him?
Nothing, just portrait of Sir Roger. Come on, let's get you out of here. You look as if you're going to pass out. One large gin and tonic.
Thanks. Oh. God, I'm sorry to make such a fuss. How stupid.
You're certain it was the same?
You can't be mistaken about a face that's haunted you all your life.
What does it all mean? Who was Roger Wyburn anyway? And what's he got to do with you?
If only I knew.
There must be some way of finding out. I've a friend who sometimes does research for writers. He might be able to help. Oh, are you going to be all right? Shall I get you a taxi?
I'm meeting Richard at 5 and he's driving us down to the cottage in Rye. We're going to have a golfing weekend. Perhaps fresh air and exercise are what I really need.
I am coming for you now, Esther. I am coming for you, my bride.
Hester? Hester, Hester, wake up, for God's sake. Wake up, Hester. Hester. Was it your dream again?
Yes. Yes, it was my dream.
I'll tell you. Look, I know we haven't been married long, but it's time I knew.
I suppose you're right, but you mustn't interrupt. You must just let me tell it.
The moment we get back to London, you're going to see Dr. Baring.
And what good will that do? He can't give me pills to stop me dreaming.
No, but he might help you to find out why you have these dreams. There must be some explanation.
And the Van Dyck portrait was the absolute likeness of the face in your dreams?
In every detail, Doctor.
Then you've every reason to be reassured. I've only the sketchiest knowledge of psychoanalysis, but this seems to be a classic instance of the way in which the mysterious subconscious flows beneath the surface of human life. Like some dark underground river, as one of my colleagues once put it. Or, to put it in plain terms, I think that you may have seen that portrait when you were very young. Not the thing itself, perhaps, but a reproduction in a book or periodical. And no doubt it made a very deep impression on you. It awoke something in you which your conscious mind immediately suppressed, so the terror it inspired in you could surface only in dreams.
But why should it come to the surface now?
Who knows, my dear Hester, who knows? Everything's all right between you and Richard, I suppose?
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, everything.
Oh, yes. No problems in that direction.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. Well, Hester, I don't find anything at all to be alarmed about. You're a perfectly healthy young woman. But you are run down, and I suspect that's the cause of the trouble. The return of your childhood nightmare isn't a cause, but more likely a symptom. What you need is a change of air.
But surely, Doctor...
Get out of this airless furnace into some quiet place where you've never been before, that there's no associations for you. And don't let Richard come with you. What you need is a complete change. Somewhere on the East Coast, perhaps. Suffolk, Norfolk. Never been there?
Never. My mother's family came from Southwold or somewhere, but I've never been.
Sea air, complete idleness. No long walks, no long bathings, short bracing dip and a deck chair by the sea. Cut yourself off completely. And I know just the place. Rushton. A quiet little hotel by the sea, where it's impossible to do anything at all.
My dearest darling Richard, bless you for another lovely long letter. There is simply nothing to report about my life here. I loll around in a deck chair all day long, digesting enormous meals and thinking of... What do I think of? I want to say I think of him, but I don't. I can scarcely even remember the details of his face. It's as if something had come between us, as if I was seeing him through glass, as if Richard were a memory of something that had happened a long time ago. Thinking of getting home again. Baring was quite right, though. The treatment is certainly working. No more nightly visitations. No dreams at all, in fact, that I can recall. And every morning I wake to another day. The trouble is that if I go on with this kind of life much longer, I'm going to grow into a mindless noodle and start putting on weight. So tomorrow I shall try a little undemanding exercise, I think. A leisurely walk, perhaps, but not a very long one.
Well, madam, you could try going over to Minsborough. There's nothing much to see there now, but it's not far and it is quite a pleasant walk. It's about a couple of miles.
I might manage that. Which way do I go?
You see there, just beyond the marsh, that hill with a little wood on top of it? That's where you make for. But I don't know whether you ought to be going out today, madam. It's so close. Feels like there's going to be a storm.
I think I'll chance it. I'd be quite grateful for a storm. It's getting so heavy, I might as well be back in London.
There are sheep grazing. And there's the little wood. There's someone who's waiting for me. Someone who's been waiting for me, not just for a little while, but for many years. The landscape of my dream. Here all the time on the other side of the marsh. The path, the stiles, the wood, and beyond it the church tower. And the trees are like a tunnel all around me, leading me on. And I know that my journey is nearly over. That this person, whose name I do not know, is waiting for me somewhere close at hand. But now I do know his name. Will I find him there, waiting for me? The trees are beginning to thin out, and there is the church tower, and there's only one broken arch between the tower and the cliff edge. No one. No one waiting for me. Only the tower and sea and gravestones crumbling on the edge of the cliff. Is this all that my fear amounts to? Is this what's been
pursuing me all these years. It's time to go back. The storm is coming this way. One gravestone standing alone, about to slide into the sea. Here lies all that was once mortal of Roger Wyvern. Night.
Ooh, reckon you made it back just in time, ma'am. Did you get wet?
Nothing much to speak of.
Gonna be a really bad storm. You all right, ma'am? You look very pale.
There's nothing wrong. Is there a telephone I can use?
Well, certainly there is, madam. It's over there in the corner by the door to the bar.
Hester, I thought we agreed that you...
I said I wouldn't phone, but something... Look, I want you to get in the car now, this minute, and drive down here.
Hester,
Don't ask questions, please, darling. I can't talk about it over the phone.
But surely...
We've got to get me away from here as quickly as you can. I'm certain that something terrible is going to happen.
Look, Hester, if it's as bad as you say, why don't you just leave now and get the next train down here?
There isn't a train until the morning, and I'm frightened that by then it will be too late. Please, if you love me, come now.
All right, darling, now take it easy. Take it easy. I'm on my way. Look, it's going to take me about 3 hours to get there. I suggest you have a relaxing bath and then a meal in the restaurant there. I'll be with you about 9 o'clock. Now, take it easy. Everything will be fine.
Thank you. 9 o'clock then. Please hurry.
All right, darling, I will.
Come in.
I've done as you asked, madam. Your bill's been made up and they won't charge you for tonight.
That's very kind. You will let me know just as soon as my husband arrives?
Yes, madam, of course. Oh, and there's this letter for you. It came by the second post this morning, but I'm afraid it must have got caught up with something else. I'm sorry, madam.
I don't imagine it's anything very important. Thank you.
I do hope your husband won't have too bad a journey. It's a wild night outside.
Is the sea rough?
Terrible, madam. You can hear it pounding away at the sea wall. Is there anything else, madam?
No, nothing, thank you. And at Minsborough there's no sea wall. The waves are battering away at the foot of the cliffs, bringing the sand sliding down. And his tomb is on the very edge of the cliff. Get a grip on yourself. Celia's handwriting. Dearest Hester, I know I said I wouldn't write, but Richard tells me you're feeling much more like your own sweet self. And in any case, there's something I think you ought to know. I said I'd get my friend to see what he could find out about Roger Wyvern. There isn't very much, but this is the gist of it. He was at the court of Charles I, but wasn't a very reputable kind of character. There was some sort of scandal concerning one of the Queen's maids of honour, and after that he was distinctly persona non grata at court. And there were more sinister stories about him, hints that he had dabbled in the black arts. As the rumours got nastier, he fled the country and got caught up in the Protestant cause in the 30 Years' War. He was injured at the Battle of Lotho, wherever that may have been. That was in 1638. The following year, the girl to whom he had been betrothed since childhood came of age. He swore that no one would keep him from his bride, and returned to claim her. But the ship carrying him from Flanders was wrecked in a violent storm off a place called Minsborough, and he was drowned. And that's it. But the thing I thought you should know is that her name was Colburn. And I seem to remember you saying that was the name of your mother's family. And her Christian name was Hester. 9 o'clock, and the skies are clearing. There's a moon over the sea, and soon Richard will be here. Yes? Oh, that's wonderful. I'll be down in a moment.
Good evening. I've come to collect my wife.
Your wife, sir?
Yes, well, we're driving back to London.
Oh. I'm sorry, sir. She's left. Another gentleman came to collect her earlier.
Another gentleman?
Yes, sir.
What sort of gentleman?
I know nothing about him, sir. I've never seen him before.
What did he look like?
He was a red-haired gentleman, sir, with a sort of scar in his mouth.
There were footprints, which might have been hers, and they followed them until they came to an end, 2 miles away, in a great landslide of sand, which had fallen from the old churchyard on the cliff. It had brought down with it half the tower, and a gravestone with the body that had lain beneath. The gravestone was of Roger Wyburn, and his body lay by it, untouched by corruption or decay, although centuries had passed since it was interred. No further discovery was ever made. Rosalind Ayres played the doomed Hester, and Rosalind Thomas her friend Celia. Richard, the husband, was David Goodland, and Norman Bird played Dr. Baring. The maid was Victoria Carling. The face was written by E.F. Benson, dramatized by Michael Bakewell, and directed by Jerry Jones. My name is Edward de Souza, the Man in Black, and I invite you to join me next week and come face to face with Fear on 4.
A day at the dentist's.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more to the place I have been calling my House of Horror. There is another place, however, that many people, rightly or wrongly, regard as a house of horror. I mean, their dentists. Personally, I can never understand this dread of the dentist. After all, he's an expert with years of experience probing inside people's heads. All you need to do is to trust him. You're at his mercy, of course, but he doesn't want to hurt you. Unless, of course, he happens to bear a grudge against you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, accept my invitation to a day at the...
Yes, just a little more there and I'm done. Are you still feeling relaxed? Good. Here we go, then. I must make a good job of this one, mustn't I? I don't want to think of my last filling coming. I wouldn't do at all. No. You'll be buried with this filling, Mrs. Phelps.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Peters, but Mr. Charles is retiring this week. Well, didn't you get a letter? Well, yes, today. I'm sorry, I don't know how we could have overlooked you. Doctor... Yes, he's giving up the house for the practice. Dr. Maybury is taking over, a very capable man. Of course, Mr. Charles made sure of that, so if you'd like... Yes, to phone on Monday, you'll be able to arrange with him. Yes, I am sorry. Goodbye. Can I help you?
Can you fit me in this afternoon? Fillings come out.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but
I know it's short notice, but I don't mind paying over the odds well over if you like.
Well, it's not a matter of money, Mr...
Houseman, Fred Houseman, I am on your books.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't remember
Well, I was 10 years ago. I've never taken myself off, so I should still be there, shouldn't I?
Do you mean to say you haven't been to the dentist?
I've got perfect teeth. It's only this one, right? Well, okay?
Well, I'm very sorry, Mr. Houseman. If you are on our list, you should have had a letter. I'm afraid Mr. Charles is retiring early. He's on his last patient now, in fact. If you'd like to ring on Monday...
But it's only 4 o'clock. Surely you can fit me in. I'll pay.
I'm sorry, but he gave instructions.
Will you come in now, please, Betty?
Yes, Mr. Charles. I'll ask him, but I really don't think he'll have the time. Wait there, please.
Amalgam, Betty. 3 will do, I think. Now, I'm just going to put this thing round the tooth a little wider. All right?
Someone's just turned up wanting emergency treatment, Mr. Charles. I told him I didn't think he could deal with him, but he's very persistent.
No, I really haven't the time. Not too tight? The removals people are due in the morning. I must help my wife finish off.
Yes, of course.
Is he one of ours?
Well, he says he is. He had a filling 10 years ago, but he hasn't been here since. Says he has perfect teeth.
Has he indeed? So what does he want with me? Here we go, Mrs. Phelps, all right?
He says the filling's come out.
Can't have been one of mine, then. What's his name?
Houseman, Fred Houseman.
I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Phelps. Careless of me. All right? Nearly done. Fred Houseman.
Do you remember him?
Oh, yes. There we are. All done now. I'll just take this out. Now, bite gently. Again. Now grind your teeth together. That's good. Again. Splendid. Now just rinse your mouth out now. I'll finish off, Betty. Go and tell Mr. Houseman that I'll be pleased to see him.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Quite sure.
Oh, very well. Mr. Charles says he can fit you in.
Oh, thank God for that. Oh, you don't know where it takes for me to go to a dentist?
Would like to fill in this form?
Oh.
Is that why you haven't been for so long?
I tell you, my teeth are perfect. No, I had a bad experience when I was young. I'm not afraid of anything else, I do everything. Rock climbing, potholing, and here I am in a muck sweat. Oh, ridiculous.
You'd be surprised how common it is.
Well, common it may be, but I'm not. I don't run with the herd,
No. May I have the form?
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Charles won't keep you long. He's just finishing.
Oh, I hope so. God, can't stand the waiting. I just want to get the damn thing done with.
If it makes you feel any better, he has a special technique.
I know about his technique. Why do you think I'm here? He still doesn't use the needle, does he?
Oh, Mr. Charles doesn't believe in local anaesthetics if at all possible. No, what he does...
Right. I hate the needle worst of all. Well, that's why I went to him in the first place. All my life, I've been obsessive about dental hygiene. You know what I mean? What, to keep the damn dentists away. And it did too. Till I broke a damn tooth. I must say, though, Mr. Charles did a good job. 10 years ago, that was. And I can still remember the state I was when I came in that door.
I'm sure.
Once I was sat in that chair. Oh, somehow he got me relaxed, Hypnotism, is it? What does he do?
I really don't know. He says music is very important.
Yes, well, I don't give a damn how he does it, as long as he does it again today. Oh, thank God I was in the neighbourhood.
Oh, you no longer live here?
But I've written it on here, haven't I? Epsom. Nice little place. Detached. Pony in a paddock for little Polly. That's my daughter. All my own work. Started off with nothing. No rich daddy for me, I thought you said he wasn't going to be long.
Mr. Charles. Oh, Mrs. Phelps, if you just sign here before you go.
Yes, of course. Should I pay now?
No, I'll send you a bill as usual. Your letter will be forwarded on.
Such a pity he's going. He's been so good.
Dr. Maybury is very highly spoken of,
Well, I hope he's half as good as Mr. Charles. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Phelps.
Betty?
Yes, Mr. Charles.
You can send Mr. Houseman in now.
Very well. If you go straight in.
Right.
Ah, Mr. Houseman, come in.
Look, before you start, there's something you ought to know.
But I do, Mr. Houseman.
What?
I know all about you.
You remember me?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, after 10 years?
I remember you, Mr. Houseman.
Well, yeah, I did kick up a bit of a fuss, I suppose.
You did indeed. I've never known such a bad case of odontoatrophobia.
Is that what you call it?
Fear of the dentist, yes. But I managed to get you to relax, didn't I?
Oh, I still don't know how you did it.
Do sit down. No, not that. In the easy chair.
Oh.
That's it. We'll talk for a while till you're properly relaxed. There's no hurry. You're not pushed for time, I hope? Nobody expecting you, waiting for you?
No.
Nobody knows you're here?
No, why?
Well, you know, the relaxation process sometimes takes a little time. Sometimes people like to ring up their loved ones, tell them not to wait. It helps put their minds at rest.
Oh, no, that's all right. But it only happened over lunch.
What did?
Oh, the filling came out.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you'd managed to dislodge one of my fillings.
Oh, bit of chicken bone. In a health food restaurant, would you believe?
Well, it just goes to show you never know where you're safe, do you? Don't try to relax.
I'm sorry?
You're trying to relax. I can see it.
Oh, is that wrong?
Oh, yes. It's the fear expressing itself. You'll not get rid of it that way. I'll tell you when to relax, though by that time you will be. You know, you really should have taken my advice last time.
Oh, what was that?
I asked you to come back, didn't I?
Well, there's nothing wrong with me. You've done the filling?
Exactly. So I could have really got to work on your phobia in a totally non-threatening situation. Never mind, you're here now. Better late than never, eh? But, my goodness, you cut it fine. Another half hour and I'd have been back in the house with my wife. Do you have loved ones, Mr. Houseman?
Yeah, I'm married, yes.
Children?
One, little Polly. I've got a photograph.
Oh, no, please. No, pardon me, no.
What was he like?
So, a nice wife, a nice child, a nice little house, I expect. Where's that?
Epsom, and not so little, actually.
No, I see by your dress you're in fair way of business, if you don't mind me saying so.
No, I'm glad it shows.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Like to wear your successes on your sleeve, don't you?
Well, it's a matter of confidence. If you want to put yourself over... Look,
Yes?
Is all this necessary? I mean, I'd really like to get this treatment finished.
Of course you would. That's another symptom of your anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a busy man, Mr. Charles.
Not at the moment, though, are you? You just told me.
Oh, no.
No, so it's just anxiety, you see. And that's what I have got to get rid of. You comfortable in that chair?
As comfortable as I'd like to be in a dentist's surgery.
Well, you'll get used to it. So, what were you doing this afternoon?
I'm sorry?
You had lunch with a client, was it, or,
Yeah, with a business contact. His treat, so I couldn't tell him I'd lost a filling on his damn chicken bone. Damn nuisance, actually. I'd planned to spend a nice afternoon in town.
You didn't want to get back to your nice house, give your wife a surprise, take her some flowers, perhaps?
What do you mean?
We're just getting you talking. Part of the process.
Well, no. Well, I planned, since I was in town, I thought I'd walk through the park or something. Nice weather, you know?
I know. It's nice to feel fancy-free sometimes.
Look, I've got a feeling.
Yes?
Well, you're getting at me in some kind of way. Digging at me, is that what you're doing?
Is it annoying you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think it damn well is. Why didn't I go home to my wife? And what was I going to do in the park? Look, I've come to get you to put your filling back, not
Good.
Good.
Not good that you saw through my little boy, but good that it's working. Getting the anger out, or rather transmitting a little of the anxiety into anger. It loosens you might say. It makes it easier to take it out, like extracting a tooth, loosening the roots first before
Please, don't...
Sorry. Just testing. No, actually, I quite understand how pleasant it can be, especially for a busy man like yourself, to find yourself with an afternoon all of your own. Takes you back to your childhood, like playing truant. Forbidden fruit, eh? You walk through St. James's Park, say, or perhaps Hyde Park would be better. More chances there. Sun shining, no worries, no appointments, ready for anything that might come your way, is that right?
You're trying to make me angry again.
Yes.
Yes, actually, I'm a happily married man with a lovely wife.
Did I say you were?
Look, I don't think this is working.
What, Mr. Houseman?
This, therapy, or whatever it is.
How do you know it's not?
I can feel it, can't I? Eh? I don't know what you did last time, but you didn't do it like this. It's not working, you're wasting my time, and I'm getting fed up. Forget the therapy, just give me a new filling and be done with it.
Shall I tell you what's happening now?
Look, do you understand?
I understand that you have no intention of sitting in that chair, let alone letting me anywhere near your teeth. What's happening is that your fear is getting scared, feeling vulnerable. Do you know how they used to drive the devil out of people they thought were possessed? They taunt the devil to loosen him up, twist him this way and that, and to dislodge him. And when he felt his roots beginning to slip, that devil would get really angry. Then the exorcist knew he was winning. We don't call them devils anymore, of course. We use psychiatric terms for them. But the principle is the same. Get them scared and they get angry. Do you really think your phobia would let you get into that chair? No, he'll let you get almost into it. Then he'll find something else for you to get angry about, and you'll storm out swearing to sue me or something. Nothing I can do about it. I can't put them in straight jackets, can I? They'll never go to a dentist again. They let their teeth rot in private. You want to leave?
No, get on with it.
Well done.
So what now?
Well, I think a little music.
Music?
Do you have any preferences? What music do you play when you want to forget unpleasant things?
Yeah,
about
I don't have much time for music.
Oh, come on now. Everyone has time for music, if only as wallpaper. Put it this way. You've taken a nice young lady out to a restaurant. Nice meal, rather pricey, but you hope it's going to be worth the money. Taxi back to your place for a brandy to show her your collection of Toby jugs.
What the hell?
Sorry?
How did you know?
No what?
About my Toby jugs.
Have I hit a bullseye? Well, I never. I must be getting onto your wavelength. That's a very good sign.
Is it?
Certainly. This is going to be a success, Mr. Houseman. After today, you'll never worry about going to the dentist again. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I must have mentioned it last time.
Yes, of course. And I've held it in my unconscious all these years, waiting for this moment. Isn't the mind a strange thing? Well, then, you've got the lady into your nice little bachelor flat. This is before you married, of course. How long have you been married, Mr. Husband?
9 years.
So, there you both are, sitting on the sofa with a brandy or a scotch, wondering if the time has come to make the next move. You notice her eyes dart to the half-open door of the bedroom. You're not sure whether the expression in the eyes is apprehensiveness or anticipation. You decide to play safe and distract her with some music.
Look. I don't think this is necessary.
Mr. Houseman, I have to ask that you trust me. It is necessary, I assure you. Well, I'll choose something for you. I've got quite a good selection of tapes here. Now, something old, 10 years or so ago. How's this?
I used to have that album.
So, I've hit the nail on the head again, have I? That's good. Because you see, Mr. Houseman, there's an interesting parallel to be drawn between you, say, and your younger days, of course, before you became a happily married man with a sweet little child and a nice, not-so-little house in Epsom, between you trying to coax a young lady into your bed and me trying to coax a patient, you, for instance, into my dentist's chair. Think of the processes of dentistry. The prying fingers of a stranger in your mouth. What an impertinence, what an indignity. And then worse still, the dreadful machinery of filling, of extraction. Unclench your hands, Mr. Houseman.
You have to talk about it.
Yes, I do, trust me. So you see, what am I to you but a potential rapist, intent on assaulting your most secret, most vulnerable places? Some fool of a dentist mistreated you as a child, forced your mouth open, perhaps, regardless of your cries, to insert his instruments. Don't try to relax. And now, here am I, trying to persuade you into the same situation again. No fear, says your unconscious. You'll not catch me again. And however much I tell you that this time is different, that the past is over, that this time you might even enjoy it, your unconscious won't believe me. Because, for the unconscious, the past is never over, and the present is only the past happening all over again. Do you understand?
Oh, understanding is one thing.
And the emotions are another, I quite agree. I can't argue you into that chair, Mr. Houseman, I know that. And I can't do what that criminal idiot did all those years ago and force you. You're too strong now, and besides, I find the idea of that kind of forcing quite dreadful. Now I have to seduce you into my chair.
Oh, you've got a job on.
Oh, I have. But think back again to that night, that hypothetical night when you persuaded the young lady back to your flat to look at your Toby jugs. I've got a job on here, you might have thought. This is a tough nut to crack. On the other hand, she's still here. There was a time when she could have left after a quarter of an hour or so after the first brandy. She's still here. Nil desperandums. And look, when you smiled, she smiled. When they smile with you, the battle's as good as won. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Of course it is. And now I'm going to ask you to try my chair.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, you haven't done anything yet. It hasn't worked.
You think not?
No, you'll have to do better than that. You're right. I'm a tough nut to crack.
But I have done something, you see. There's a change in our relationship. Haven't you noticed? You laughed with me. You feel more at ease. You feel you can trust me, don't you?
I suppose so.
And so you can permit yourself to issue a challenge. You'll have to do better than that. In other words, whatever I'm afraid of, I'm not afraid of you.
I'm in control of events. I'm not a small boy here. I don't feel like letting you near my teeth, but if you think you can change my mind, you just go ahead and try. Isn't that the case?
I suppose it is.
And isn't it the same with women? When you sense that they're challenging you, the battle's as good as won.
Yes.
So, now I'm in a position to make you a request. And a promise. Which you know I'll keep because you trust me. And in any case, you're in control. The request is that you try out the chair for a moment. No, not even a peek into your mouth. And the promise is that as soon as you say the word, you can go back into that chair again. Well?
You won't look in my mouth?
I promise.
Yeah, all right. If you think it'll get you anywhere?
Good. That's it. Sit comfortably. Legs straight, you're not on a horse. And now I'll show you how it works. This is how we put children at their ease nowadays, you know. We treat the chair like a toy, and we're all still children at heart. Apprehensive, but curious. This is how it goes. Down. And up. And this is how it tips back. No, you're thinking of its function. You don't need to do that. For present purposes, this chair is just a chair. Its function is to be comfortable. Is it comfortable? How can I make it more comfortable? Back a little? Up a little?
Back a little.
Like that? Is that better?
Yes.
A little more? No, right. Now, you're sure you're comfortable?
But if it was just a chair.
But it is just a chair. You're going to sit there and then you're going to leave it. Now, we're doing very well. Next stage, I want you to slip this on.
Huh? What is it?
Well, it's a sort of apron. It protects you. Mr. Houseman, do you trust me?
Yes.
Of course you do. Now, just put your arms through that area. Never mind the tapes, I'll bring them round here. That's right. Just relax.
Look, I think I'd like to just...
A minute or two, Mr. Houseman, just a couple of minutes. Excuse me, just a moment. Just lie there and relax. Betty?
You want me in now, Mr. Charles?
No, Betty, I've decided no treatment is necessary.
What?
We're just going to talk a little longer, so you can go home now.
Are you sure, Mr.
Yes,
Charles?
quite sure. Don't bother to clear up, just go. Drop in the morning and we'll settle things.
Very well, Mr. Charles.
Oh, and Betty?
Yes, Mr. Charles?
On your way out, will you ask my wife to come to the surgery? Tell her I have a surprise for her.
A surprise?
She'll understand.
I'll tell her.
Thank you. Goodbye, Betty.
Goodbye, Mr. Charles.
Look what's going on.
What?
What do you mean no treatment necessary? You haven't even looked in my mouth.
Oh, that was just to get her to go home. Huh? She's a very conscientious...
Why do you want her to go home? You can't do anything without her.
Oh, I can, believe me. Well, likely to be here for some time, you know. You wouldn't have the poor girl missing herself.
Time? I don't understand. Look. I want to get down now.
Aha! Do you hear that? I want to get down now. Straight from your childhood that came, that awful childhood when you got that nasty dentist. All right, get down.
I can't. I can't move my arms. The tapes have got caught or something.
Let me see. Oh, so they have. Ah, that's Betty leaving. She's gone into the house to fetch my wife.
Will you hurry up and let me out?
Oh, look at that. The tapes have got all tied together.
Get them untied then. What are you doing down there?
Just strapping your ankles, Mr. Houseman, so that you don't kick. There.
This.
Yes?
This is a straitjacket.
A sort of straitjacket, yes. I had it made specially.
Oh, my God, nurse! Betty!
She won't hear. You can't hear anything in here from the house, and anyway, she's probably on her way home by now, and the windows are very well double-glazed, as you can see. Don't worry. My wife will be here any moment. She's dying to meet you.
What are you talking about? What the hell is going on? You let me get out of this! You let me go!
It's no use struggling, you know. That thing's very strong. We've tested it.
We? Oh, look, if this is part of your so-called therapy, I've had enough of it now. I am getting... Get me out!
Please, may I get down?
Get you stuck off with this, you let me out!
Please, may I get down?
Please!
Please, may I get down?
I get down, I don't feel very well.
Oh, do you not? That's a pity.
You're going to let me out?
No.
You promised!
Promises are very insubstantial things, Mr. Houseman, as you know.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. God, this is a nightmare.
Yes, you're right. A nightmare returned. It was somebody else's. Now it's yours.
What's this about? Please let me out. Look, my wife knows I'm here, so she'll soon be on the way.
No, your wife knows nothing. No one knows anything. You told me so.
Let me out this chair, please. Look, do whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want.
What I want you can't give me, Mr. Houseman. What you owe me, you can't pay back. And what you owe my wife...
Tell your wife.
As for getting me struck off, you forget I'm retiring today. You're my last case, Mr. Houseman.
Be sick.
Oh, I hope not. You do know my wife, you know. Or did once. In the biblical sense, as they say. Before you were married, of course. You don't go in for that kind of thing anymore. Well, you're a respectable family man, aren't you? With a nice little family and a nice big house in...
Look here, I demand.
Be quiet, I'm talking.
Damn world explodes.
Mr. Houseman, I'm not in a position to have to keep my temper with you. If you interrupt me again, I shall take this piece of machinery here and wedge your mouth open with it. And if you still make noises, I shall hurt you. Do you understand? About 12 years ago it was. You may not remember the woman, Mr. Houseman, I dare say. She was one of many. But you must remember the case.
Case?
Yes, I see you do. I was very distressed to read about it in the paper. I've always had a hatred of physical violence. It's what makes me a good dentist, I think. It made me. And that you'd actually got away with it. I knew you were guilty. I knew her, you see. As a patient. A sweet child. I knew she was not capable of such things as came out at the trial. When I saw the change in her, her teeth were always good, but she took to seeing me regularly after it was all over, after she'd lost the case and thus been branded as a perverted woman. She knew I was gentle, you see, and she needed to remind herself that there was in the world at least one gentle man, and I was a good deal older. That helped. She could treat me as a father. She'd sit there in that chair, and while I pretended to examine her teeth, I'd talk to her, try to comfort her, though of course without alluding to the reason for her distress. Anyway, the long and short of it was, we married. It wasn't only pity. No, she attracted me. You'll understand that. Only after that experience with you, there were difficulties. She couldn't bear to be touched. Not even by me. She told me about it eventually. A pleasant young man who took her out to a nice meal, how he persuaded her to drop into his place for a brandy and to see his collection of Toby jugs. She was an innocent and soft music. And then the rest. And then the court case, her humiliation, his release, his crowing to his friends, spreading stories, yes, I heard. And then having to get rid of the child. Your child.
Oh, my God.
Did you know about that? To her, it was a sin. But she had to commit it. She'd have gone mad otherwise. A sin she paid for because afterwards she discovered that even if she could bear the physical contact, she couldn't bear more children. That's one of the debts you owe us.
I didn't.
Then one day, in you came for a filling. I knew you, though you didn't know me. She'd pointed you out in the street once with terror. You sat in my chair, and I could do nothing. I asked you to come back, but you didn't. So I waited and prepared. And here you are.
I'm sorry. Look. If there is anything...
Wait!
Money?
You haven't heard the best bit. A very strange thing happened when I told her I'd had you in this very chair. She said, "What would you have liked to do?" I told her, and her eyes lit up. That night, for the first time, I'd made a mistake, you see, with my gentleness. My innocent child. Your fault, Mr. Houseman. Fred. Another debt. We talked fantasies that night. Nasty fantasies. About you. And for the first time as we talked, she allowed me to touch her. And that's how it's had to be ever since. You've lived with us in our marriage, Fred, in a most intimate way. They were her idea. The straight jacket and the ankle straps. She wanted to feel that somehow, someday, her fantasies would take on flesh. And here you are. She won't be long now. She'll be preparing.
Let me go. You can't do this. Help! Help!
That's it, open wide. Splendid. Come in, my dear. See who's come to visit us. Isn't she beautiful, Mr. Houseman? Fred, isn't she? Why don't you loosen his clothing here a little, my dear? That'll do for the present. Now, where shall we start? You first, my dear. This is your treat.
Well, if any of you have an appointment with your dentist tomorrow, I hope that little tale won't cause you to cancel it. After all, it was only a story. Wasn't it? John Castle played the nasty Mr. Charles, and Mick Ford the oh-so-unfortunate Mr. Houseman. Betty was played by Karen Archer, and Mrs. Phelps by Joan Matheson. A Day at the Dentist's was written by James Saunders, based on an idea by Arch Obler. The director was Martyn Jenkins. My name is Edward de Souza, the Man in Black, and I hope you'll join me next week when I tell you a story that goes into the mouth in quite a different way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to my icy chamber of horrors, and to a chilling little tale in more ways than one. The story begins with ice and snow sweeping the country, bringing traffic to a halt. 3 men seek shelter in a roadside hut, but what happens to them is enough to freeze their marrow. Join them then in the hut, and listen for the sound of the horn.
My God, I thought I was dead for sure. The door! Shut the door! Sorry. I'd swear there was something right out there behind me.
Someone else out in this blizzard?
No, not someone else. You imagine things.
Come over where the heat is. You look ready to drop.
He's let all the warm air out.
And how else would he get in? Through the keyhole?
Oh, I really thought I'd had it. I don't know how I managed to keep going.
Where'd you leave your car?
About a mile back, down the motorway. The last people I saw there were these 2 coppers who gave me a push on the slip road because I couldn't get going on the ice. Then I looked in the mirror and saw they were putting the barriers across behind me.
They've closed the road completely.
Nothing can move out there. I was down to crawling along at about 2 miles an hour in first gear when my hoses blew and the engine seized. I thought I might make it as far as the services on the top. I think I got about halfway, and then I saw the lights of this place. Is it yours?
No, we're both stranded, same as you.
What is it, then?
It's only a maintenance hut. Somewhere for the road gangs to brew up and keep the lockers.
Oh, hey, don't knock it. On a night like tonight, it's a lifesaver. Is the phone working?
I keep trying, but it's dead.
Oh, pity.
Oh, look on the bright side. We've got an electric fire, we've got a gas ring, we've got 4 water rounders and a roof over our heads. Look, the lads even left us some dirty books. We can just sit tight until the snowplow comes through. Or until it all blows over and...
Oh, great. Now we've got no lights and no heater.
Now the winds must have brought the power lines down.
Anything we can fix?
You're kidding.
Well, what do we do then? Burn the furniture?
And then we'd have nowhere to sit.
Aye,
Now
but-
look, there are candles, and we've got the gas ring. We can even have a brew.
The kettle's electric and the water pipes are probably frozen.
I could really go off you. Do you know that? I'll get some candles lit.
That one's really been getting up my nose.
It seems all right.
Look, I'm the one who found this place and got the lights on. You'd think it would be worth some recognition. The name's David.
Nathan.
His name's Mick. Says he's a van driver.
Why shouldn't he be?
Well, look at him. 18 stone and shaves once a month. You know what he puts me in mind of? Those blokes you see selling hamburgers outside football grounds. Stuff that always looks like it's as if it's been poached in bodily fluids.
Enjoying yourselves?
Knows what he's about, though, doesn't he?
Thinks he does.
Do you work on the motorway, then?
Me? No. I'm in sales.
A salesman?
No. I'm in sales.
That wasn't your car I passed with all the chocky boxes in the back, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I'll tell you something. I went out to take a look around about half an hour ago, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And I was sorry. I thought it might be clearing, but it was like walking into razor blades. There's absolutely nothing in any direction. There's the road and the moor and the blizzard, and that's it. White hell. All the way up to the top.
Oh, spare us.
You get out there and you hear the wind in the wires. After a bit, it starts sounding like voices. Listen for long enough, and you'll hear it calling your name.
I know. Wind up when I hear one.
No, dead straight this. You know what I reckon?
What?
It's all the dead people they've ever scraped up off the road. They're out there, and they're cold, and they're lonely.
Oh, for God's sake! I'm going to try the phone again.
What was all that about?
It's sensitive voice, our Desmond. Just come and see this wall over here. All these old newspaper clippings, it's like a scrapbook. You see anything unusual?
That girl's definitely deformed.
No, I don't mean the pastry stuff. Look at the pictures.
Oh, yes.
It's nearly all pile-ups and smashes. Pile-ups, smashes.
And all on this stretch of motorway?
Desmond over there was reading the one I got here.
It's David!
Of course it is. You see, the lads who work out of here, they're the ones who get called on when something happens. Somebody gets spread all over the fast lane. They're the ones who have to turn out with the bags and shovels, scrape it all up.
Oh, charming. Sounds too gruesome to imagine.
Only to you and me. We're used to it.
Bit morbid, keeping all this stuff, though.
Just honest pride and a job well done. Some of these are great. They're not all smashes. Look at this one. Some poor girl's body buried in a concrete bridge. 3 weeks. Still drilling for it. This was my favourite. The disaster with the old folks outing. And the pet food truck full of offal.
I'm getting nothing here.
Still dead?
It's not exactly dead. It's more like an open line with nothing on the other end.
It'll be like a field telephone. If nobody's plugged in the other end, then there's nobody to hear. Yeah, you were last in, Nathan. Was the weather showing any signs of lifting?
Oh, no. I wouldn't care if this was Dracula's tomb. I'd still rather be in here than out there.
Oh, that settles it then.
Settles what?
Forget the phone, Des.
It's
Dave. We might as well scrounge up a brew. Because we're obviously going to be here for some time.
He does it deliberately, you know.
Melted snow, powdered milk, catering tea bags. All in a mug like a baby's potty.
You don't want yours.
Get off, it's one.
There's a name on my mug. It says, "Hands off, I'm Harry's."
There's a name on everybody's. It's just like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Funny profession these blokes have, though.
You want to see it from their point of view. It'll be like working in a morgue. You'll get bad dreams for the first few weeks, and then after that it's just another job.
How would you know?
I've got a brother-in-law who's a nurse. He's just about seen it all. I mean, the likes of you and me. We don't know half of what it's about.
Well, I don't know. You sound like you've been around a bit.
Me? Nah, same thing day in, day out. I've been driving this route ever since they opened it up. And before that I used to go over the Snake Pass when it was the only way across. I've seen it bad, but I've never known it like this. It looks like the end of the world out there.
Got a knacker looking on the bright side, hasn't he?
You wouldn't have seen that big lorry about half a mile further up. That's why I had to stop the van.
Was it blocking the road?
Yeah, from one side to the other. Completely jackknifed on the ice. Those things are like dinosaurs. They'll go through anything. But it couldn't get through this. Couldn't get the van past. That's why I had to get out and walk back. I'd seen the lights of this place, so I had something to aim for.
Ever drive in Sweden?
And not unless you have to pass through it to get to Hartlepool.
Over there, it's like this for half the year, but they're organised. That's what makes the difference.
Well, if I was heading home for a romp in the sauna with a couple of Swedish girls, I wouldn't take kindly to being held up either. How about you, Desmond?
David! David!
All right, I'm sorry.
Oh, flaming get it right, then.
Touchy. Touchy. Anywhere special you have to be, Dave?
Just want to get home.
Nothing to argue with there.
What's the matter with the gas ring?
Oh, no.
Oh, it sounds like the gas bottle's running out.
Oh, but
Don't panic. I saw another one under here.
What's the matter?
There's one more cylinder and... it's empty.
Now, do we burn the furniture?
Metal lockers, tubular steel chairs, one formica table. I think we're on a loser there, Nathan.
I'm getting colder already. He's right. The walls are paper thin and the place is full of drafts. It'll be soon like an icebox in here. We can't last long without heat.
Suggestions?
We could, gonna have to go out and find somewhere else, aren't we?
Well, the way I see it, there's only one way to go.
The services?
No, I don't think we make it. It's more than 2 miles, and it might as well be 20. I reckon we can do maybe a quarter of that at the most.
It gets us nowhere.
It gets us as far as that big Arctic I told you about that's blocking the carriageway. If we can get into that and start its engine running, we can sit tight in the cab with the heater on.
Until the diesel runs out.
These things never run out. Tanks like swimming pools. Now, we can either wait for the snowplough to find us, or else strike out again as the weather improves. Oh, what do you think?
It'll have a radio. CB radio. Don't most of these big trucks carry them? Well, we can tell someone where we are.
That we can, Dave. Are you game?
Oh, let's go.
Well, wait on a minute. There's no point in all of us scrambling out together. Now, what I reckon is, one of us goes ahead and does the necessary. And then he sounds the horn as a signal for the others to follow.
You mean break into the cab and then start up the engine with no key?
Right.
I wouldn't know how. Sorry.
Me neither.
Now, then, since we're talking about breaking and entering with a little spot of creative rewiring, it appears that I'm the only one with the education in the appropriate subjects around here. Am I right?
Oh, this is mad.
It's survival, mate.
Well, let me try that phone just one more time.
Pass me those gloves, will you, Nathan?
You're totally potty, you know that?
Yeah, my brain surgically removed. I've been feeling much better without it. Listen, I'm going to go down to the crash barrier and then follow it along until I reach the lorry. Otherwise, there's no knowing where I may end up. Keep your ears open for the sound of the horn. Keep an eye on him.
Why?
Just keep an eye on him, that's all. If he starts messing about, leave him.
But he'll be...
I'm serious. Well, time to go walkies.
Well, best of luck, and I hope you make it.
I should think so too, because if I don't, you're in big trouble. Right, do the door, will you?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, here goes. Now! What was that Indian's name again? Geronimo!
He's gone.
Yeah, I kind of noticed. I heard what he said about me, you know.
I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, I bet. And who does he think he is? Scott the bleeding Antarctic?
I don't care if he thinks he's Scotty on the Enterprise. If he gets us out of trouble, he'll be okay by me.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. I'm no dead weight.
I never said I thought you were.
No, but he does. Pretty serious, isn't it?
We've still got options. That puts us one step ahead.
As long as he makes it.
Come on. Damn! Let's get some of these candles relit so we can see.
What are you doing?
Reading these newspaper clippings by candlelight. It's the other way of ruining your eyesight.
I don't know how you can look at that stuff at a time like this.
Oh, I don't know. Gives you a kind of perspective. There are worse situations.
Oh, sure.
There are.
Oh, name one.
Sitting in the wreck of your car with your hands on the wheel and your head on the back seat. Being in the way when someone decides to cross the central reservation and go looking for suicide in the oncoming traffic. Or being buried alive in concrete so deep that even X-rays can't find you.
Buried alive?
There.
See? I remember this one. Got all the front pages just a couple of weeks back. Bloke was a construction manager on the motorway. Lived about 3 miles away from me. His wife's had to move out. People keep going round to look at his house now he's been locked up.
Oh, for what? What had he done?
Oh, interested now, eh? He had something going with a typist in the site office. When it got a bit too serious, he arranged to meet her on the site around midnight. Told her to pack a bag and not to tell anyone where she was going.
And he killed her?
She was to sit in the office with the lights out and wait for a signal to join him outside. Except that he was already waiting for her, in the shadows.
I'm really not interested.
No?
No. What happened then?
When the police caught up with him, he told them that he'd put her body into a piling for one of the bridges. The concrete had gone in the next morning. You know what his defence was? Said it couldn't be murder because she wasn't dead when he left her. Poor kid.
This is sick, and so are you. I don't know who's worse, you or Bluto out there.
If it wasn't for a letter she'd written to her sister, he'd have got away with it. They started drilling, but they still haven't found her. Now, that's what I would call a worse situation. What you and I have is just a temporary interruption in service. Our signal, I think.
I'm ready.
Want to give the phone just one more try?
No. The greaseball was right in one thing. You listen for long enough and you do start to hear something calling your name.
Door?
Door. Right. Which way?
Northbound.
What?
Do as Mick said. Find the crash barrier and follow it.
I can't see his tracks.
I don't wonder. They wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in this wind. Just get to the crash barrier. Come on.
A bridge. Oh, thank God for some kind of shelter.
Better not stay here long. Could freeze to death.
How much further can it be?
I don't know. Sounds can be very deceptive when it's like this. Are you all right?
Oh, you must be joking.
I reckon we've been going about 10 minutes.
Oh, is that all? It feels like hours.
It'll be more than hours if we don't keep moving.
Just 1 minute to
It
rest.
can't be much further. How long was Mick gone?
I didn't keep track.
Oh, me neither. Suppose we should have. Come on!
Yeah. My God. What was that?
Where?
Oh, this is scaffolding. Oh, the damn bridge is safe.
Why?
Well, use your head. All this scaffolding.
Oh, yes. Hey, I wonder if this is where they're drilling for her.
Oh, for God's sake. Have it your way. I'm going. I'm exhausted and I'm freezing to death, but I'm going.
Wonder if this is where he put her. No, deep hole. Nothing in it. David? David? Where are you? I can't see you. I can't see you!
Here! Follow the sound of the horn! We made it. We made it.
Well, get the door open and let's get inside.
Right. Now give me a bunker. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Oh, can you manage?
No, pull me up.
Come on then.
Turn off the alarm, that's what's making the horn sound.
Oh, which is it?
Try that one.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, not bad, eh? I wonder where he is.
Who?
You know damn well who. Mick. Where is he?
Why asking me?
He must have been here. Look, he's had all the wire out to get it started.
Well, he must have popped out for something.
No, this isn't funny.
Maybe he went looking for his van. I don't know, I'm not his mother. I wasn't here.
I don't like it.
So make a written complaint. We're safe, aren't we?
We were.
It's stalled, that's all.
I don't like the look of this.
Well, try the starter. Oh, quick, try it.
Fuel gauge is on empty, that's why.
Empty? That's ridiculous.
That's what it reads.
I don't understand.
What about the radio? You said these all have...
Yeah, I know. And this must be it. Cross your fingers and I'll give it a try. Hello? Testing. Hello? flying doctor to Ulambula Base.
Don't tell me. Let me guess.
Well, put it this way. It's exactly in line with the run of luck we've been having all night.
This isn't luck. This is something damn peculiar.
It's warmer in here than outside.
But not for long. In 5 minutes we'll be no better off than we were back in the hut. Hear that?
I can hear it. Here we go.
No, wait. It may not be him.
Oh, who else is it going to be?
Give it a couple of minutes longer.
And have you telling Mick I turned out to be a dead weight after all? No thanks.
David, wait.
Look, do what you like. I'm going to show him.
David, don't forget to follow the barrier.
Forget the barrier. Follow the horn.
Wait for me then. What's this? Gloves? Mick's gloves. Why would he go out without them? If he went out at all. Wait a minute. We never checked behind here. Well, blow me. How long have you been in here? Why didn't you speak up when you heard us come in, Mick? You awake? Mick! Oh my God.
David, slow down, wait for me. Oh, yeah? Who's the dead weight now?
You've got to listen. I don't know who's out there, but it isn't Mick.
I can't hear you.
I said it isn't him.
Who then?
I don't know.
Get off me!
David! It's not him. It can't be.
I couldn't give a toss if it turned out to be Margaret Thatcher. You do what you want. I don't want to die out here.
You can't even see what you're heading for.
No, but I can hear the horn. Don't know what you've done. I'll never find it.
Come over here. We can get some shelter down by the barrier.
We're dead. You know that.
We aren't. Mick is.
I don't get you.
I found his gloves. I couldn't imagine why he'd set out again without them, not into this. And then I thought to take a look behind the curtain at the back of the cab. And there he was.
Doing what?
Nothing. I told you, he was dead.
But how? I don't understand.
Neither do I. It wasn't from the cold, that's for sure. Someone had been at him. He was cut to ribbons. I don't ever want to see anything like that again. Made me sick. I stumbled outside, was leaning over by the side of the wagon, and that's when I saw how the tanks came to be empty.
How?
They'd been slashed, ripped open, end to end. 5 long gashes, all in a line. The diesel just poured out into the snow. Whatever did it was the same thing that had hacked Mick to death. Long, blood-red gashes.
Look, do me a favour.
It's the truth, I swear it.
Just because I wear a suit and a tie and I don't drive some big fancy-ass lorry like that fat excuse for a girl out there doesn't mean I'm fair game for a wind-up. First it was him, now it's you. Well, you can both leave me alone.
Scout's honour, David.
Stick it, Nathan, I'm going. See?
It's a trap, David, it's a trap. And the horn's just the bait. You follow it and you'll end up like Mick.
And what do you plan to do?
I don't know. I'll dig myself a hole and hide. I'll do anything, but I won't follow that sound.
You do that, and I'll tell them what your last words were when they finally dig you out.
What was that?
It's the wind in the wires. Just like on the phone. You listen long enough, you can hear anything. There's nothing there.
What's the matter then? Aren't you going?
Waiting for the snow to clear. I want to be able to see where I'm heading.
Straight to hell, David, if you answer that call. What was the name of the man who killed that young girl?
I don't remember.
It was Louis. Louis, the lady killer. That's what the paper said. The one who drowned his girlfriend in cement. She'd packed her bag, she'd said her goodbyes and was waiting for the signal. And you know what the signal was?
No.
I'm waiting.
No. No! I'm not going to die out here for some ridiculous story.
You suit yourself, David, but I'm going to take my chances and press on for the service area.
It's too far. You'll never make it.
Maybe they've heard the horn too. Maybe they'll send out the snowplow.
It's clearing. I can see it. I can see the lorry.
David.
I'm going.
David, stop! There's someone getting out.
I can't see.
It's her, David, it's her.
It's just a woman. I'm going.
Look at the way she's dressed. Those aren't winter clothes.
I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you anymore.
Is it you?
Don't go to her. David, don't go to her.
I just want to get somewhere that's warm.
David, she's dangerous.
I don't even care. I just want to get out of the cold.
I've somewhere warm for you, Louis.
Look. She's making no marks in the snow. She's leaving no footprints. It is her. Nathan! Nathan! Run, Nathan, run!
Leave him alone! Leave him alone! He's not Louis! Louis is in jail! And you... What's the use? I'm sorry, David. I've got to get away from you. Must get away.
Louis. I waited so long for you, Louis. Why did you stay away?
Listen to me. I'm not Louis.
You were always such a tease. My nails are broken, and I can't remember how. Look, Louis.
Look, I hate to be the one to break this to you, but, well, you're not real. You're dead. Buried in concrete.
I know that, Louis. Don't ever suppose that I don't. You betrayed me. You were everything to me. Did I mean so little to you?
They caught him. He's in prison. He's not here. I'm not Louis.
It's so cold in there. So cold and so dark.
You wrote a letter, remember? A letter to your sister to say that you and Louis were going away, and you hoped she'd understand. When she didn't hear from you again, she took it to the police.
You never once said you loved me.
For the last time, I'm not Louis.
For the last time, Louis, one last kiss before we're together forever.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Get your nails off my face. No. No. No!
Louis, is that you? Louis, is it really you at last?
Oh, thank God. It's a snowplow. Over here! Over here!
Get out of the way! Look out!
What a day. Oh, God, what a day.
Over here.
Oh, no, not a punter. Please, God, tell me I didn't hit a punter.
You didn't hit me.
Well, who then? The blade went right into something. Something, but I couldn't see what.
There was nothing.
You're on your own.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, I'm freezing to death here.
Oh, don't move. I've got some spare blankets in the cab.
What are you doing?
My mate's doing the other carriageway. We have to sound the horn to keep in touch.
Oh, don't touch it.
No, don't worry. I've got the blankets right.
Hey, what are you doing? You call this a rescue? Hey, come out of there. What do you think you're...
Look what happened, Louis. I'm all covered in blood.
Oh, God.
He didn't even scream. I didn't scream either when it was my turn, did I, Louis? And now it's your turn. One last kiss, Louis. It's so cold.
They're still searching for the dead girl's body, but you and I know she's out there somewhere, on some stretch of motorway, still waiting for Louis to turn up. So do remember, if you happen to be out driving late or when the weather's closing in, remember, she's still looking. John Castle played Nathan, Peter Gunn, David, Philip Sully, Mick, Christopher Scott, the snowplough driver, and Cara Kelly, the spectral voice. The horn was written by Stephen Gallagher and directed by Martyn Jenkins.